Hello and welcome, twitch.tv/Final Fantasy Randomizer. We have ourselves a race between 2-0 teams. In the team names you've got are KARY on My Wayward Sons and Duck Soup. We've got Luffy DV and Chanigan versus Papa Ducks and Waffle Soup. As you can see, we are currently having a slight technical issue with Waffle Soup's stream. But we are hoping to get that resolved shortly enough. In the meantime, we've got a little bit of pre-race commentary going on. I've got actually two people in the booth with me today. We have Shadow Mr. T, and we have DM Stewart, who is also covering the tracking for us. How are all of you doing tonight?
Doing good tonight. Wes, how about yourself?
Oh, you know, just getting hyped for some racing.
I'm also doing fine.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race again. Two teams that are 2-0. So once we get this issue with Waffle Soup's stream resolved, he is currently troubleshooting it right now. I'm sure we will get on with this race. But in the meantime, you know, what do we know about these runners? I know Papa Ducks and Waffle. I know Papa Ducks, Luffy, and I think Chanigan are all three from the Final Fantasy I randomizer community. So what do we know about them?
They are all three excellent FFR runners. Didn't Papa Ducks win one of the more recent Duckling Derbies?
I believe that is true. That is what I've heard. So that is something that we can look forward to. Some high-level Final Fantasy I play from both Luffy and Papa Ducks. Obviously, as we get started here, it looks like we've got a little bit of desync, but that's okay. We're just going to go with three runners for the time being. We have Chanigan on the Timespinner side, which I don't really know too much about, but again, this team's 2-0. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, what happens here. We have a level 1 nuke and a level 1 warp on the Final Fantasy I randomizer side. On the flip side, on Timespinner, it looks like they're starting with Blood Orb, which is pretty good to start off in these flags. We're starting in the past where things are actually weak to Blood Orb, rather than in the present where things are actually strong against it. I didn't catch the white magic, trying to keep track of all three of these games. Did anybody see anything spicy in the white magic?
I did not notice anything spicy in white magic.
All right, well, they got that warp and that nuke at level 1, so we'll see how much those pay off. It looks like we have an early security keycard A, which could mean pretty bad things for our runners, but it hasn't so far in this tournament, as far as I'm aware. The A key card opens up a late game area that is pretty straightforward, but it also can be a little rough because there's just a lot of stuff that deals like a lot of damage in that cave. So we have an early canoe from the Timespinner runners into the Final Fantasy I, so that's half of their air access. They just need the floater from there.
Yeah, I got a fairly cheap Archipelago item in Canary's shop.
Oh, that's
yeah,
always
just need
good.
About 1,000 more gold.
And
well,
was that...
I think that might have been it. You just get handed gold, and I believe you can just go right back into the town and pick that up.
Was that a stone poison or a damage poison off of Garland?
That was a damage poison, I believe.
Oof. That could be ugly.
Well,
looks like the AP item was a shard.
Luffy pops his way through Bridge Boss.
And if I remember correctly, we had a katana from the princess. I didn't catch what the king had.
Yeah, so it looks like we do.
Hey, Luffy
we are
finds
just
a
going to go
ship.
with 3 runners for the duration. There's the ship in Matoya's cave. That's an early ship. So lots of early movement here for Final Fantasy I. I'm trying to keep track as best I can on the Papa Duck's Waffle Soup side. Waffle Soup is playing, but his stream is just having a bit of an issue right now, so it looks like we're going to be doing this entire race just with the 3 runners. And I will try and keep track of the Timespinner items for Waffle Soup to see exactly where Waffle Soup might be in terms of go mode.
Oh, it looks like Math Girl's saying that his stream will be back soon.
Oh, he will be back. Well, that's good to know. Because he is currently playing. We don't want to strictly go off of a... Oh, and there we go. There comes his... And we've got an ad, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
So looks like Luffy has already dispatched the pirates. I think Papa Ducks did a little bit more shopping, so he's a couple minutes behind. He's just going to use that nuke that Luffy probably also used.
Oh, we got some cake and lock in Little 2 Black.
Oh, that's not bad.
And
What is the odds that cake will actually work against some of these more difficult bosses?
Mainly only Lich.
Got it.
It can work against KARY. KARY's not weak to it, but KARY does not resist it.
Yeah, so it's probably not worth the risk unless you're doing a Hail Mary.
Yeah, or unless, of course, you got like nothing better to cast.
Right. So it looks like both Final Fantasy runners have their ship now. So we've got a lot of movement here going into the Dwarf Cave already here on Luffy's side, just to check those 2 quick chests. A couple AP items. Looks like it was Chaos Blade and a tent for themselves. Nothing really outstanding.
And the boat is basically kind of guaranteed to be in very early checks in Final Fantasy for Archipelago, and will always be at Canaria.
Right, that is correct. In non-AP seeds, it can show up anywhere you have access to, but in AP, it is always in Canaria. We've got Harm 3 at level 2.
And Heals 3. Isn't bad. Considering White Mage Harm is turned on.
Yes, it is.
Right, one of the best flags, making the White Mage very useful.
We have our first Timespinner gear on the left side for Chanigan. I don't know where that was. It looks like the text client is a little bit desynced with the... Oh, wait, there it is. It's found it in the Ramparts Knight and Archer guarded room. So that's an early gear that neither of our runners are really going to have to worry about. It's kind of on the way to stuff they were going to do already.
Mm-hmm. We found a loot in Earth Cave.
Oh, that is... Yeah.
In the 4th chest.
I know sometimes the Earth Cave is something that people will fade, so it'll be interesting to see if that's going to be a hint for Papa Ducks later.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what chest that is in. Ramparts Pedestal was the Light Wall, which, from my limited knowledge of Timespinner, is a very nice. It does cast magic, but is infinite vertical movement.
It is infinite vertical movement. If you see early Light Wall, you kind of cringe as a Timespinner player, because that usually means, since you have infinite Light Wall, you have access to anything that requires vertical. So you just don't know where your other sources of vertical movement are. And Light Wall is definitely not the most convenient of vertical movement. So you really have to manage your aura, and you can buy ethers from a shop that you have access to if you have access to it. If you run out of aura, it's kind of really slow to regenerate it if you have no items to do so. So you have to make sure that you hit all of your light walls and you don't miss on any of your movement, or else you could abandon some checks or just have them take a very long time to do, and you definitely do not want.
Yep, and it looks like we also have a defense in Earth Cave. Is anyone catching all the street magic? Well, there's life. Night learnable. That's nice.
Yes, mainly I was wanting to
Also, floater in Let's say.
Yeah, that's the omelet chest. So that's another chest that looks like it's going to be Waffle Soup is going to check that. A lot of these checks early, there's not a lot of variance here because they don't have a ton of different movement. So the two runners are almost definitely going to do literally the only thing they have access to.
Okay, water mask.
A water mask being very, very important for the run. But again, it's a...
I'm sorry about that. I had a phone call that I had to take.
Oh, no worries. We were covering for you.
So I have missed. I have probably missed several things that they've gotten.
Yeah, that you can see. It looks like Luffy has the floater and the loot.
Yeah, and Papa Duck should have a boat.
Yeah, Papa Duck should have a ship. But Waffle Soup will be picking up the floater for Papa Ducks any moment now.
Mm-hmm. And for screens, we're bound to miss stuff. Even with three of us watching.
Yep. And it looks like that light wall has been collected from Waffle Soup. It looks like maybe the technical issues had Waffle Soup a little bit behind Chanigan. I don't know what he might have done in the early game to be this far away from where Chanigan is, but probably something to do with those technical issues that he was having. So what we're going to look for here, since Chanigan has this lead, what we're looking for is something to make the routing different between the two runners. If everything is linear, there's really just nothing except for movement and for just boss fight skill that can really separate anybody in Timespinner. So we will see how that plays out. If everything stays linear, it does favor Carry On My Wayward Sons.
Mm-hmm. Also, yeah, and back to us missing things. Did anyone catch what was at level 3 and 4 magic? Oh, I saw life and
we did see life. I didn't see level 4. Alright, we have the first boss fight for Chanigan coming up here. He doesn't have a very good orb for fighting this boss. He could use... I don't know if it's just Waffle Soup that has the Colossal Blade, or if Chanigan also does. He could be using the Colossal Blade here to really take care of these puppets and the twins. Also, though, he may want to know that each of the twins has their own separate health pool, so splitting damage across the two of them doesn't really do much help. But now that he's on to the second phase, he does have the light wall, which is going to help out a lot, dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And a nice find of EXPs for Luffy.
Yep. Nom 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 nom.
Okay. So I am not all that familiar with Timespinner, other than the obvious note that it is Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's a time travel based Metroidvania, indie Metroidvania came out in 2017. It was kickstarted. The Randomizer has kind of a small following compared to a lot of the other games that are on Archipelago. But what we like to say is we're very passionate about it. So we try and get it in front of as many eyes as possible, and we're very, very grateful for the Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer community for bringing Timespinner up as one of the options for the first big Archipelago tournament.
We are also, I say we, being primarily a part of Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer community, we are also very new to Archipelago.
Right, so it just seemed like a perfect fit.
Yeah. Should we explain what
a lot of gold being handed to our Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer players?
So Archipelago is a way to have multiple players playing different seeds and having items spread across all of the items for each player spread across all of those games. It originally started, as I recall, as purely Link to the Past multi-worlds.
That is correct.
And I don't know what games were the next ones to be added, but I know that Ocarina of Time has been added. I know that Super Metroid has been included. I know there are quite a few others.
Yeah, there are quite a few. Final Fantasy 1 and Timespinner are two of the newer ones. Even some games that you wouldn't even think that would make sense in Archipelago or in like Slay the Spire. Rogue Legacy, I believe, just got added, so that is very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Risk of Rain.
Risk of Rain 2, I believe.
Yes, it's the second one.
Yeah.
And
If someone wanted to add Risk of Rain 1, I would be on board.
And yes, to answer Dark Twinge in the chat, Archipelago supports well more than 2 players in games at a time.
Yes, quite a few more than 2.
I have seen they have had the asynchronous. They used to have, when it was purely Link to the Past, they had asynchronouses that were 256 asynchronous games going at once.
which just sounds ridiculous.
All right. So it looks like Chanigan here in Timespinner is making the climb up the Ilana's tower. Like this is where the light wall kind of becomes a hazard in terms of it being your only vertical movement. You can easily run out of ether, or you run out of aura if you don't buy ethers. And you can abandon checks if not even if you're not careful, just if you haven't found enough aura yet. Here we might see an attempt at what we call a struggle juggle, but I'm going to say that he's probably going to take the light walls up. No, it looks like Chanigan is trying to be a little bit faster, ending up taking a hit there and abandoning the check entirely. So that is rough. That could be a big danger. Oh, we have our first hint of the race. It looks like Waffle Soup is going to be hinting for the twin pyramid keys, and he does not have enough hint points yet, so he's going to have to wait on that.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah, I know that. I don't know Timespinner well, but I do know that is the hint everyone wants, is Twin Pyramid Key.
Yeah, if you don't have it already, you should be hinting for that. What it does is it opens up the other half of the game. You're currently starting on these flags in the past because it's inverted mode. In order to get to the present, you need those twin pyramid keys.
Well, so we probably found Succubus hairpin at some point.
And I don't believe they have yet.
I'm pretty sure I'm seeing. Chanigan double jump.
He's using light wall a lot, but he is not doing double jump that I've seen.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
That's an Umbra Orb, I think.
I may not. I could have been mistaken. It might have just looked like he double jumped. Also, we're fighting KARY already on Luffy's side.
Yes, Luffy is and I don't know if you mentioned this while I was on the phone, but White Mage Harm hurts all enemies, regardless of whether or not they're undead.
Right, yeah, we did bring that up, but we brought up that the improved harm was on, but not exactly what it meant, so thank you for that.
It does make the White Mage a little less useless.
Okay, Lightning Stream, Quad Exit, level 3 black.
That is a nice level 3 black.
Yep. And it just looks like a life.
Life and Fog 2.
So we see Chanigan making this climb. I want to call this out because when he gets to the top of this, you see he bought a bunch of ethers. He's going to use those ethers to actually be able to finish this climb and not have to backtrack. He's not going up and getting a couple of the items that are at the top of that tower. I don't know if he just has a gut feeling that those aren't going to be required or what, but that could be very dangerous. There are two checks that he is kind of fading right now.
I missed what was at level 4 white, but level 4 black was useless.
Well, with Jepster saying fading the checks. Well, 4 white had fade in it.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh,
Also, of course, the katana rolled minus because we have thieves. Nice.
oh, of course. So what kind of party composition does this set of flags favor? Shadow.
To be honest, I don't entirely know. I mean, I feel like it. Well, obviously, since it's based off of our what was it? The first.
Sorry, Waffle Soup was just trying to do a jump there. He's kind of dedicated to getting this one treasure chest. We'll see how long he sticks it out. Nope, he's leaving.
Elena. Blech.
Yeah, we've got light wall strats on Alana and Blood Orb, which is kind of nice. Star of Lachiam's going to add a third orb to their 2 orbs that they're allowed to use, so that's going to increase that Blood Orb damage significantly.
You know, I actually have a question about that Star.
Yeah?
If you have 2 different orbs equipped for some reason, which orb does it actually make the copy of?
Yeah, if you're enough of a psychopath to have 2 different orbs equipped, it makes a copy of the first orb.
And there's an Empire Crown goes to Chanigan.
Yeah, Empire Crown is huge. I would have equipped it immediately. It is the best helmet in the game in terms of DPS, so that's going to be huge.
But back to the party, kind of recommend party comp that I was asked. I mean, it also depends on what you're given as force, because there is 2 force classes. The first slot is between fighter, black belt, and thief, and then the 4th slot is between red mage, white mage, and black mage.
We have a Timespinner Gear 3. There was a hint for Twin Pyramid Keys, but I didn't get to see where it was. We'll see if it pops up in the text.
Yeah.
Waffle Soup coming back. He's not wanting to abandon this check. With what he has and what we know Chanigan has, very low likelihood that this is going to be a required item. So we'll see. And it is the Twin Pyramid Keys. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that's a big brain. Wait,
I don't know if that hint actually went through. It looks like Chanigan is not going back and getting it yet, but he might later. He hasn't hinted for it. He did hint for it. He's probably gonna go get that after this. He might think that it's at this struggle juggle, but it is at the other struggle juggle. So called because you have to juggle by using time stop to kind of jump on top of that mage's head over and over again.
Which is annoying, considering if you get touched by it or hit by its attack, that causes chaos.
Do we want to sync everyone?
I think we do. I think that helps a lot, especially with the lag on the text client. So. All right, well, this race just got a lot more interesting. It looks like Waffle Soup is choosing to get out of those towers to check a couple of things. Going back to the towers, one of the interesting things is you cannot buy warp shards, which is what you need to warp to your last warp location until you have the Twin Pyramid Keys, and you cannot use the warp shards until you have warped at least one time. Yeah, Chanigan's coming over. He must have hinted for it, and he's going to be going and fetching that Twin Pyramid Keys. That's going to open up a little bit. Did not get to see where the teleport actually took us. When you get the Twin Pyramid Keys, you do get a random teleport in the present. So it'll be interesting to see where that is.
And Chanigan, okay, we've got a cube on that side.
Yep, in Ice Cave.
Yeah, we have a cube on Ice Cave, and it looks like they hinted for a Masamune, and that's going to be at Chicken Chest, which is in the present, kind of far to the left. They have access to it, obviously, with Infinite Vertical. Yeah, the Masamune is going to be big for late game for Luffy.
Is in
Well,
the present?
It might
That's in the
be.
past.
Oh, the
It
chicken.
might be big if
No, the chicken chest is the one you jump off of the frozen chicken.
If it rolls,
Oh yeah.
if it rolls -5, it might not be so good.
Mhm. I'm thinking chicken ledge. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Looks like we have Papa Ducks and Marsh. Why are we down here? Ooh, Hagama tile. Yeah, just bad spot. So he wants to take a grind down Marsh.
All right. Still haven't seen what the present warp is. Chanigan coming to the Merchant Crow, purchasing some warp shards so he can do some fast traveling later. Should be about synced up now. Thank you so much, Math Girl.
I think Papa Dux is doing Marsh just because there's a good amount of chests down there.
Yeah, I wish I would have gone the Marsh earlier in something, but I won't touch on that.
Well, I don't disagree about not going to Marsh.
Yeah, Marsh is never good, no matter what.
Something rolled something rolled nasty, and given that it's a Danny seed, it's probably the thing you see most.
Yeah.
Hey, we get a pro ring.
Let's go some dragon armor from Vonnegraaff's. And what's the elf prince away? We have Herb? Where did we get Herb? Oh, Marsh.
And I did not see what Elf Prince had.
Oh,
max sand. Just some max sand for Waffle.
All right, so we have the Alana fight here on Waffle Soup. He is going to be using the Blood Orb. I don't know if he has that Empire Crown that that Chanigan had. That would be accelerating this significantly, but it looks like he's got 12 per tick on Alana. Still quite a bit of damage here. Already to the second phase, the Desperation phase of the Alana boss, so this should be over relatively quickly. Chanigan making his way through the present. It looks like the security keycard B was in the elevator keycard chest in Varnagross Tower, so that's very helpful. He's going to need that in order to progress to the end game and also progress to the... wait, no, he's already in the tower, so that shouldn't be a problem. So at this point, the tower is required, so that is going to be one thing we want to look at. If Waffle Soup does go there.
And Luffy is also making the Marsh Cave play.
Yep.
Very interesting. The routing the routing diversions. It's always fun to see, especially in Final Fantasy 1, like where their routes end up converging. Like where's the advantage that you get? Where's the play that you should have faded? Where's the play that you kind of went early and it had something, and is that going to be like signaled to the other team at any point? So as we send an Excalibur over to Final Fantasy 1, that is pretty nice for them. They have a Masamune and an Excalibur, so those are the Excalibur is in this Varnagross Tower, so that's another thing that we need to look out for again. On the other hand, it doesn't look like Waffle Soup is even going to the present yet. He's just going to stick to the past. There are 3 required bosses in the past, and it looks like he's going to be going and doing that because he does indeed have access to everything in that cave. So we'll see what he finds down there. They are still missing one piece of the Timespinner, but other than that, that B keycard is going to be their go mode once they have that final gear. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
And Luffy gets crown from left elevator chest.
Yeah, it sounds like Varnagross Tower is indeed the play. He's hesitating here to hint. We'll see. He's gonna hint. Yep. Waffle Soup is hinting for security key card B, so he does not have enough points to tell him where it is. That is unfortunate for him. But he may hint for that later.
And Papa Duck's hint for some Oxyale by the looks of it. But there's I see.
There's a lot of chests. There's a lot of chests in C.
Yeah, which is understandable. Also, with Waffle Soup going this way, staying in the past and heading towards, Banishment Cave, I happen to notice, at least from by the looks of it on the tracker that he has at the bottom, does he have gas mask?
He does not have gas mask, but he does have twin pyramid keys, so he can just do the entire maw caves and then just back out of it if he doesn't feel comfortable. Also, if you want to, you can kill them all. There's nothing stopping you. He has light wall. He can do a lot of light walling of them all. It'll kill him pretty quickly. The challenge is then, do you accidentally alienate yourself from checks in the present that are going to be poisoned once you defeated that boss? The more interesting thing here is they don't have fire. I don't believe either of our runners have access to fire right now, which you need to burn those vines to open up some places in the present that are blocked off by petrified vines. So that's another kind of interesting thing here.
Luffy finds steak.
And he also just hinted for his tail, which is in his Mirage by the looks of it.
Yeah, if you have Masamune and Excalibur, I feel like that's a good reason to hint for that tail.
Yeah. Have we seen what Maza rolled for the Excal?
I have not seen it. Of course, their menuing is so lightning fast, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to tell. There's a shard. What I've learned so far is that Timespinner, it's funny that Timespinner tends to more frequently hint for required items, whereas Final Fantasy likes to hint for like nice to haves. We have a Timespinner Gear 1. That will be the final Timespinner gear at Elfland 3. So I don't know
That's
if
the key locked.
That's the key locked one. So they have a thief, right? Does that help them with getting that? The gas mask is underwater on the way to the maw, by the way.
Oh, that's convenient. I do not have the seed up. I can boot up the flags just to check if thief lock picking is on or not. Yes, thief lock picking is on at level 15.
Right, so they can go pick the lock with the thief if they want to get that as well. They don't have to wait for the key.
Yeah, but
and knowing that puts Chanigan in go mode, I'm actually kind of surprised Luffy is not just going for that right now. Of course, they do have a little bit of time. Chanigan does have to defeat a couple of bosses before he's actually ready to go to the end game. So Luffy does have a little bit of time to do some stuff on his own, but it'll be interesting to see how well they time that going into Chanigan's end game.
And yeah, Searson also playing in chat that thief lock also do. But what is Luffy's EFAB?
Well, we may see here in Ordeals.
Right. Papa Dux's, I don't know if this is going to be much of an indicator. Papa Dux's levels are at 12. I would expect Luffy's levels to be about the same place. We did see Luffy find some high experience fights earlier, but I guess so did Luffy. So we're going to kind of... Oh man, that was actually a really well executed spike deboost by Waffle Soup over there in the Maw Caves.
Yeah, and also we found a key in Earth Cave.
And I also... Oh, the key is just in Earth Cave?
Yep.
Well, there you go. I want to point out that Chanigan is going up top of Lake Serene and not swimming, so Chanigan's going to be looking for that gas mask a little bit longer. And frankly, if I were them, if I were Chanigan, I would say, you know what? I know where I have my B key card. I know where Gear 1 is. I know that I don't care about the gas. I'm just gonna go bum rush them all with some light walls and defeat him, even though it's technically out of logic because that puts him in go mode.
Yeah, and speaking of logic, FIFA lockpicking is not a logical thing.
Oh, it is not. That's interesting.
Yep, because you especially if you say you're running 4-4, and you don't have a thief.
Yep, and there's Timespinner Gear 1. All Chanigan has to do is beat the Maw.
And rip.
Does not look like he's on the same page as me in terms of just going and doing it. But we did see our first fire in the... Oh, wow. That is a hintless Timespinner Gear 1 for Waffle Soup. This is going to be really close all of a sudden. I thought Chanigan and Luffy were going to kind of run away with it, but Papa Ducks kind of unprompted went and checked that and got that Timespinner Gear.
Well, when you pick up a key as a Final Fantasy 1 player, when you get the key, there's three places you can get a decent amount of chests real quick. That's Corneria, that's Elfland, and that's Dwarf Cave.
Well, Waffle Soup is
and that's a
in
chime.
go mode, technically, knowing that the B card is coming. He'll probably grab that on his way to the end game as Chanigan's going to do exactly what Waffle Soup is doing. It's going to be really tough to see. Again, Waffle Soup doing a lot of checks here that I'm not expecting him to do, basically in mental go mode. Chanigan not getting that gas mask. He's a little bit higher level than Waffle Soup is, killing a few more enemies than he has been doing. It's still not a gimme to defeat them all without the gas mask. So we'll see what goes on here. If he has enough healing items to kind of tank the poison, then he's fine. But if he doesn't, then that could be a stopping point for him.
And there's Luffy going to check the Dwarf Cave ones.
Well, he has a habit turn in. Try the cat.
Ah. Sorry, I'm really bad at tracking this tonight. That was a Coral +4.
If I remember correctly, that was good against Kraken, correct?
Well, any kind of
any kind of sea enemy.
Yeah, but specifically Kraken would be one of the more important ones to know.
Okay,
True.
It looked like Excal rolled +3. I don't know if Luffy has gone the Mazza yet.
Alright. Here we go. Waffle Soup is going at an admittedly pretty low level into the Maw fight. He does have that gas mask, which will allow him to not have to worry about the poison. So we're going to see a lot of light walls. It's not only a movement trick, it's also a lot of damage against big things that don't move. And there's nothing that is bigger and doesn't move than the Maw. That's a quick Maw fight. So Waffle Soup's probably just going to go right to Varney's tower, grab that B card, go beat the game, and hand off probably like 10 shards or whatever to the Final Fantasy 1 seed if all past indications are true.
And Shadow Walker makes a good point. Coral does do additional damage to Kraken, but it's not a sword you take to a boss fight. It's not a sword you take to a fiend fight.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still learning about Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer. Again, Waffle Soup... was he able to hit for the security keycard B, or was he out of points?
He did not have the points when he tried earlier.
Gotcha. Okay, that solves my confusion. He's probably over here getting quite a few quick checks in a row to build up that hint equity then.
Yeah, it looks like we found blue stake on Luffy's side.
Was it quick off the reset?
I didn't see. I think he was just walking towards Mirage and just took it.
Well, because yes, you take blue stake when you get it.
Unless, of course, it drops, a nuke.
Well, yeah, unless it drops a nuke off the bat, but it is a ton of XP if you're walking grind.
Or even if it's low in HP, you can solo black belt grind it too once you get high enough.
All right, so here we go. Let's watch Chanigan's oxygen meter here. When it runs out, he is going to start taking, I believe, 10% of his max HP damage per second. That's going to be a bit of an issue. He's probably going to have to skip the Maw fight and go looking for that gas mask. Yeah, there's no chance. Almost didn't make it to the save point.
That does refill his oxygen.
It refills his oxygen, but that was incredibly close.
Yeah, that was really close.
That would have been minutes of a time loss if he had not made it. Yeah, he's going for the Maw fight. He knows that, if he beats Maw, he's in go mode. He's already at a third, maybe a quarter of his oxygen going into this. This is going to be heavily reliant on how many healing items he actually got.
I was about to ask if, once he goes through the portal, if it resets his oxygen meter.
He's got the damage in. Looks like he's gonna be able to do it. He's got 9 potions. Yeah, he should be fine.
Luffy is headed up. Is headed into greater than less than.
All right, Chanigan was able to defeat the Maw. He's gonna crack a couple potions so he doesn't die in the cutscene. And this is kind of like a run to the end. Right as Chanigan kills the Maw, it looks like Waffle Soup picks up a security key card B, and looks like Chanigan's going to have about, let's call it 100 foot advantage on Waffle Soup, as he already had that military hangar teleport visited.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like.
But here we go. Execution. Here it is. It's all execution from here.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say this is much harder to track than I was expecting.
There's a lot going on, and Final Fantasy 1 really doesn't pop up and tell you when something gets received.
Yeah.
Oh, that
economizer ring
is large. That's going to make all these light walls that Waffle Soup's going to have to use to climb a lot cheaper. Considering they don't have double jump.
Yeah.
That economizer ring could be very big too.
I think Chanigan skipped it.
I don't know if Chanigan got it. He climbed right up. He may just say, you know what, I've got enough ethers, I don't care. Fortunately, spikes do still hurt you if time is stopped.
Yeah, I found that out in like the hard way. That was fun. But yeah.
So this is kind of how these races have gone. Like a time spinner race to the finish, and then once that time spinner player is done, that usually gives the Final Fantasy player enough shards to beat the game. Waffle Soup doing a couple of. Oh no, he's going to get the save point.
Okay, I will answer this question from Lily Spikes. How useful is Tail? It's very dependent on what characters you have and what gear you have. In the case of the parties for Luffy and Papa Ducks, Tail is extremely useful. If you have a different party that's, say, black belt heavy, say black belt, white mage, black mage, it's a lot less useful.
I see what you're referencing there.
Yeah, so I believe what our time spinner runners are doing by checking all of this stuff is looking for that double jump that they need.
Or sash.
Or the sash, but that minimum double jump. Don't have a tracker on Chanigan's side. I'm almost positive that neither of our time spinner runners have it. And that is a death from Waffle Soup.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Well, he did just save outside of that room. Fortunately, when any Archipelago items that he picked up, the Final Fantasy player gets to keep, but anything that he wants to keep, he's going to have to recollect.
Yeah. Also, the Dynamo was powered by a shiny rock.
Yes, it was. Shout outs to Team Shiny Rocks.
Yep. Wait, Shiny Rock, that's Puff's team, right?
It's mine and Puff's team, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Let's see here. Chanigan climbing through the lab with only light wall. You're going to be able to see like just exactly how much of a struggle this really is. He's done the worst of it, which is nice. But there's still just a lot of platforms that are just like a couple pixels outside of your normal jump range. And sometimes you put yourself in light wall jail, where you block off your way up with a light wall.
I hate that.
And it's all just kind of like a nightmare. You kind of don't want to waste time to kill these laser turrets, but then if you don't, they kind of just shoot you away from what you're trying to do. Then your light walls go away, and then the quicksand happens, and you're salty. You start making other mistakes.
Yes, the salt is real. I have played enough randomizers to know the salt is real.
Yup. Salt question. Nice one, Map Girl.
Oh, and that's a light wall jail from Waffle Soup here, too.
In the same place that Chanigan put himself in light wall jail.
Very, very close. There are a couple places that look very, very similar to each other. I think it might have been a different one.
Yeah.
And we've got a Bridge of Destiny on Luffy's side. We've got Metal Sleeves.
Ooh.
Yep. Chanigan just put himself in yet another light wall jail.
And he's
kind of
actually
flirting with low
fine.
HP. Those lasers do a lot of damage. He's going to have to, drop in and heal.
Wow.
And Papadex is fighting a Kraken.
And Luffy just basically only got that one encounter on the bridge and just made it across.
What is
Power
the
bomb.
shard situation on our Final Fantasy players? Do we know?
Good question.
If they stay in their menu long enough, we might be able to find it.
Yep. Menu's just been, But both of them will get 4 from killing the bosses they're fighting.
Yeah, Chanigan is fighting this boss. It's going to open up the end game to him as soon as he defeats this boss. Not a very difficult boss if you kind of know what's coming. But the one that comes after is going to be the interesting one. Also, it'll be interesting to see what he does after beating Genza here. Again, technically in Go mode, but without a second form of vertical movement that isn't light wall, it's going to be a lot of aura to make the climb up the pit. And without that economizer ring, I'm just not sure. Well, that'll make a big bit of a difference. Waffle finding the Teleria attachment in a chest that Chanigan did not pick up. That is your dash. Mm-hmm. Not a required item. Not required for Go mode in this seed. It is kind of a nice to have. It does look like Chanigan is going to be going to the end game.
Oh.
Yeah, looks like he's just planning to do the light wall climb. And
Yep. But yeah, After OS is something that I actually don't know the answer to.
So
yeah, is this single limb for them?
This is double. This is double elim.
Okay, so they'll still have a match after this, or doesn't win this.
yes,
we'll still have
both
one.
of these teams, regardless, will not be eliminated. It is Swiss pairings based off of your record.
Yeah, it looks like Chen is doing good damage too. Which dad is this?
This is the dad that is required in to beat the game.
Well, there's
So it is younger Anubius, not as powerful. Lower HP. The runners do have Umber Orb, so they have the option. Well, no, I'm sorry, they don't have Empire Orb, or ignore what I said. But yes, Chanigan is going to the end game. Again, does not have that second piece of vertical. Maybe just relying on ethers to make that climb out of the pit. If he can't make it, that is just going to be really tough to deal with.
So please remind me, Empire Orb is Punchy Fists?
yes.
I thought I remembered that.
Also, I'm trying to think, because there's the boss that Chanigan just fought, but then there's the other one that you can fight.
Yeah, that's at the top of Emperor's Tower. That's Emperor Anubius instead of Prince Anubius. He has a couple extra spells, has a lot more HP. Is rarely required, but when it is required, it's kind of awful.
I wasn't talking about Emperor or Anubius. I was talking about because there's one where it uses a lot of the orbs from like the past. Like,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, Emperor Volturilis. That is the other boss. It's weak to Empire Orb, which is why a lot of runners tend to do that if they have Empire Orb. But yeah, the flip side is that it has a lot more. His waffle soup is gonna maybe take a death here. Yeah,
Yep.
but he did just save at the couple rooms before this. Yeah, Chanigan doing a little bit of killing of these enemies. Usually you kind of end up skipping them, trying to time stop there, but these enemies aren't affected by time stop. They do a lot of damage, so you kind of have to be careful. He is taking them out pretty well with Blood Orb.
Yeah. Usually if you have the proper right equipment or enough health, you just damage boost your way through them.
Oh yeah. I don't remember the last time I actually killed one of those things.
I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, Chanigan is going to... he doesn't even have a lot of aura right now. He's gonna be light wall climbing his way up. He's gonna need to do something a little bit more. He may have just realized that he does not have enough ethers to get out of here. So he's gonna hit that save point and he's gonna try. I don't know. No, he's gonna warp out. Yep. But I also don't know where he's going. Yeah, he's gonna be going to this teleport to get out of this cutscene area and try and look for another set of vertical movement. I wouldn't be surprised to see a hint from either one. We haven't seen a hint in a while from either of our players here.
Yeah. It looks like Luffy's taking a bit of a blue dragon grind in C.
That's an interesting grind.
Okay, so Chanigan just bought a bunch of mind refreshes. I am not 100% certain that's going to be enough.
Because those only heal 30?
Yeah, that's like, I don't know, maybe 2 light wall casts, maybe like 1.5 light wall casts.
Looks like he might be heading over to the Merchant Crow in the past to try to get ethers now.
Yeah, that looks like what he's doing. Waffle Soup has the economizer ring, is deciding to just go for it. So here we go. He does have that economizer ring. He's going to use that colossal blade. Oh no, he's going to use a little bit of Shattered Orb. I did see that Chanigan had the Shadow Seal. I don't know if he's had it equipped. But that would be a good way to just do a lot of damage really, really quickly.
Yeah, because the lower your health, the more damage you do.
Yep.
Also, we've not seen a meatball yet.
We have not seen a meatball, or a bombardment for that matter.
Yeah, we haven't seen the good old... Well, I like to call it the shotgun.
Oh, it is the shotgun.
And meatball.
It's a spicy meatball.
Yes. Which I have a gripe with it. Why can both the knights in the past and the knights in the future block it?
They're just too powerful.
But it's a ball of magma.
Yeah, but it's a shield. Alright, we do have both of our Timespinner runners in the end game here. I would not be surprised to see the Final Fantasy runners start to just kind of mosey their way over to Topher.
Yeah. Hope to get enough shards from the forfeit.
Yep.
Looks
Chanigan
like
taking
Luffy's
another
close.
couple of fights here. He is going to be getting a bunch of levels. The Teleria attachment, you're going to see exactly what that means to have the Teleria attachment in this final dungeon.
Hey.
Waffle Soup opening kind of the why not?
chest.
It's right there chest, as it's called. Did not get anything worthwhile there with just the Galaxy earrings.
I kind of argue that's one of the more. If you get them early, it's like a very nice item in the randomizer because you can't reinforce orbs in the randomizer.
We can talk after this about Galaxy Earrings being a trap. Waffle Soup's gonna have to start being careful with some of his ether usage.
Does he actually have the economizer ring equipped?
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Wait.
Yeah.
He's just using the Colossal Blade to kill a lot of these enemies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, Chanigan's making this climb. He's just gonna use all of those ethers that he bought. It's gonna be a slow one.
I remember doing this.
I'm actually kind of interested in why neither of the runners really hinted for that double jump.
Oh boy.
Okay, looks like Waffle Soup is... Oh my goodness!
What?
The Celestial Sash was at the bottom of the pit.
Isn't that where it normally is?
No, it's past that, but almost. That is gigantic. Obviously, as you can see, the Waffle Soup was almost a full minute behind Chanigan and now has just zoomed past him into the lead. That is an unbelievable spot for that Celestial Sash.
Wow. Wait, and wasn't Chanigan like right next to that room at some point?
Yeah, he was right there. He kind of passed it up a couple of times. That is really unfortunate, especially as Chanigan continues to kind of take these fights here. Waffle Soup setting up his fight here. They're going to kind of be entering Sandman at about the same time.
You're going to need to explain Celestial Sash and why that's so exciting.
Yeah, it's the infinite vertical movement. You just kind of hit two buttons and you go zoom into the top of wherever you need to be.
Just try not to bonk your head.
Yeah, so that light wall, yeah, you don't want too many concussions. But that light wall climb that Chanigan was doing, not required if you have the Celestial Sash.
Yeah, that was a great find.
It was a huge find.
Oh, what attack is that?
The Chaos Blades?
Ah, that's what that is.
And it looks like Luffy's looking for a grind.
Maybe. Yeah, looks like it.
That's the only reason to go over to Hall of Giants.
It looks like Waffle Soup just realized he had the Eternal Crown. Chanigan using the Blood Orb here instead of the Umber Orb against the Hourglass is a little bit quicker.
Actually, he just got sent the crown.
Oh, he just got sent the crown? Because, yeah, Chanigan's had that for quite a bit.
Yeah. It's going to be a very close finish between the two Timespinner runners.
Yeah, it is. Light Wall's going to be just sitting there and doing a whole bunch of damage. Chanigan a little bit higher level, so he's going to be doing a lot more damage with those. A lot of the Timespinner damage is based off of multipliers, so the higher the numbers are, the higher the multiplier affects it.
Okay, that's a Mud Goal. Mud Goal's an okay... Mud Goal, if they don't roll bad abilities, is
Chanigan completes the Timespinner. That is a dot done for him, so get some exclamation points in chat. And seconds behind him, about 10 seconds behind, is Waffle Soup.
All right.
So it's basically a Final Fantasy 1 race at this point.
Yep. And I quickly got...
There's the lag.
There's the lag, and with the lag, we're able to see that Papa Dux has enough shards to get into Topher.
Yes, that is true. I wonder if Luffy also does. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. He might just be kind of taking some grinds here.
Yeah.
Papa Dux looks like he's just going to go right to
Topher
Luffy and end this.
Luffy's got enough to get in.
Oh boy. Yeah, considering kind of how close this is, what's the time difference for considering a tie in this instance?
Oh, I actually don't know.
Is it still just like within a second?
Papa Ducks is headed down into short Topher. He's got a lich too. Got a speed bump too.
Yeah.
Oh, Luffy could lose this on the menus.
Do you mind explaining what's going on in the menus here?
Luffy was dropping items. Was dropping useless weapon items. And that could... Luffy takes a lead because Lich 2. Because Luffy had a real quick Lich 2 and Papa Ducks did not.
Yeah, it looks like Papa Ducks had to reset out of it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Luffy drops... And now let's see if Kraken 2 is going to do Kraken 2 things.
Oh, KARY has
Nuclear KARY.
KARY's being radioactive. Also, Papa Ducks is not promoted.
Oh, wow.
Whereas Luffy is.
A little bit of time saved from Papa Ducks for having life too, but these heals are taking quite a long time, and I think the lack of promotion is really going to do it. Being able to take care of these Topher bosses is a big deal here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a bit of
Boss
a
RNG
sync issue, but it's only by like what 10 seconds by the looks of it.
Yeah, Boss RNG has put Luffy ahead.
Yeah, and you look at that timer, just as Shadow said, it looks like there's about a 17-second... it looks like on the stream, Papa Ducks is about 17 seconds ahead of Luffy, so Luffy's probably got about a 30-second actual lead here.
Yeah.
And there's Kraken for Papa Ducks, so they're just right on each other's tails.
And Luffy enters Chaos.
Here it is.
Oh boy.
See if Chaos does anything weird.
You got some Vizzes, defense going out on the Ninja. Rocking the Fighter.
Thunder. Chaos starts off with Thunder.
Oh boy.
But good turn order.
Yep, good turn. Alright, well.
Okay, so it is by combined time, and within 3 seconds we do a retime.
Gotcha. Okay. The stun hits the ninja. I've got a feeling that is not a big deal here, as long as the knight still stands.
Yeah.
5 hits for I didn't see how much damage.
Yeah. Six hits for it looked like 400 something.
Blaze from Chaos. So Chaos is certainly giving it the game.
And Papa Ducks is approaching Chaos.
Yeah, Luffy tried with the XXXX
And
there.
crack.
Oh, it hits Nami, the ninja there, not any of the other party members. So there it is.
That'll do it,
for Luffy.
Luffy. That'll do it for Luffy.
GG's to Luffy and Shanigan.
Yep.
Very, very close race.
Very close.
An excellent close race on both sides.
So I don't think that,
Looks like the Black Mage on Papadux's side did get stunned, which is unfortunate.
yeah. So I don't think
It's unfortunate, but it could be worse.
Yeah. I don't think Quadex could have landed on Chaos due to resisting death.
Hello, Luffy. GG to you.
Hey, GG's, guys.
GG's.
Grab my
And
partner.
I was like, we are waiting on Chanigan to join. GG's Chanigan and
Hello.
Luffy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Man,
Yeah.
that was stressful.
That
Oh,
last 15
Thunder
minutes was
Chaos.
Wild.
Plays.
Yeah, we are currently watching an unpromoted Papadux fight Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you went to Sky really late.
And that'll
Yeah, that'll do it for
Papadux.
Papadux. Really close race here.
GG's.
GG's. That was very, very close. Chanigan, I would like to inform you of something that you might be interested in.
Yep.
The chest that is at the very bottom of the big pit.
Sash.
Yep.
Oh my god. Wow.
And which one was the infinite vertical?
Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah,
the
it's
infinite
that one.
vertical.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, this was so close on the Timespinner side because Waffle Soup was just like, I'll check it. I don't know if he hinted for it, but he did go and check it and got the sash. And as you were light wall climbing, he just zoomed right past you. So this became very, very close on the Timespinner side because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out of hints, so I couldn't hint for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there was a lot of
chests.
there was a lot of
out
shortage on
75.
hint points on the Timespinner
Oh, yeah.
side. Waffle Soup did a lot more opening of checks than he had to in a couple of places because you had just found your security key card B going through the tower, and he just never went to the tower. So that was a good play on your part to get that key card B, reduce your required number of hints by 1. On the other hand, Waffle Soup had found the key for Papadux, which sent Papadux to Elfland to get Waffle Soup's Gear 1, whereas you had to hint for that. So it was kind of very, very interesting how the two sets of hints played out. Really entertaining race on the Timespinner side. And then that race to the finish on Final Fantasy 1 side, Papadux actually getting to Topher first, but taking a death or a reset on Lich too, kind of was the difference maker here.
Yeah, that Lich 2. GG's to you, Waffle Soup and Papadux.
Yeah, GG's all around.
GG's.
GG's incredibly close race. Incredibly close race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
That was
Not
something.
gonna lie, that was stressful.
Yeah, that was a lot of going on back and forth that last 10 minutes about what we're gonna do, what we're gonna figure this out, and that was something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was in the middle
it was interesting to watch the Final Fantasy 1 players kind of get their go modes with the shards and say, well, whatever I'm doing, it's not as important as beating the game. So we're just going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, congratulations, Luffy and Chanigan of Team KARY on My Wayward Sons. You go to 3-0, which is very impressive. Let's talk about a little bit of the Final Fantasy 1, the early going, where you get the canoe early and the ship shortly after, and then just the routing diverged in a huge way shortly after that. So walk us through some of your strategy. Luffy first, just walk us through some of your early game strategy when that's what the start you get.
So me, Chanigan, and Shum have been doing quite a bit of talking about what to do in the early game. Marsh is like the play that like a lot of people make, and we've been deciding that it'd be a better idea to go to Earth Cave and do something different. There's a few more checks there, and if there's nothing, we could just reset out of it. And if I get my floater, which I did this time, then I'm on the outside of the canal, and I can just zip on over and get in the air. In a practice, it didn't work out so well. Today, it worked out pretty good.
Right. Well, the Marsh Cave ended up having the goods this time, it turns out. But you did go there eventually.
Mhm.
Papa Ducks, walk us through your early game thoughts when you kind of you didn't get that floater at the start that we've seen in a couple of other races. So, movement isn't great, but just walk us through what your thoughts were there.
Well, the early canoe, I knew I was skipping Marsh and going straight to Volcano from Elfland. Much more chest density there. And right before I left, I wanted to stop by Crescent Lake to get some gold and buy a couple houses before I went. And right before I left for Volcano, he found the floater. My biggest mistake was after leaving Volcano and skipping ice and going to Marsh instead.
Yeah, the
Because
Ice Cave had what was it the Ice Cave had?
The cube.
The cube, that's right.
Yeah. And whenever possible, that's usually my second play is Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Good for leveling and highest chest density in the game.
Yeah, I hinted for the tail pretty early on when he sent me that XCal +3, and I saw that it was in Sky, and I was just trying to dig out that cube. I went to ice, got the cube, and I was just trying to find that chime. And then, Canary Locked had, all of the dungeon items that I wanted in the world.
When I saw the katana rolled -2, I hinted for the Masa instead. I just decided the thief was going to be an evasion tank for me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So Chanigan and Waffle Soup, pretty linear start to the Timespinner seed. Not a lot of options for movement. You get that light wall, and I mean, you technically do have access to a lot, but it's nothing you really like. So, take us through, Chanigan. You went you went the entire seed where your only vertical movement was the light wall and technically the wheel later. What's going through your head when you're like, all right, I'm out of aura. What now?
Yeah, that was rough. I was very dependent on the shop items like eaters and sand, the sand, and thank God Luffy sent me a few, and I got a few because man, that wouldn't have played that well. But it took both of
Waffle
those,
Soup.
and-
We noted that you were opening up a lot of checks, and it didn't occur to us that your previous hint for security keycard B was unsuccessful because you didn't have the hint points.
Mhm.
Obviously, now that it was in Varndegross Tower. It was a play that Chanigan made very, 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 very early in the seed that you had to actually hint for. As you're going through there, what are you expecting to find? Are you hoping for anything besides security keycard B there, or are you just opening chests hoping to get your go mode?
I just continued to open chests for hint points to look for more, hopefully hint for more vertical movement. So
Right. And I missed it. Did you hint for the sash?
yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you did hint for it, so
that's
it wasn't
right.
just a random check.
Mm.
Okay.
No, that was not a random check. That was a terrible place for the sash, but I knew it was there.
Yes. So it was funny. Chanigan was in the middle of a light wall climb when you got the sash at the bottom of the pit, and you just zoomed right past him. And that was kind of the point where we were like, okay, this is going to be very close. Chanigan is at higher level, quite a bit higher level actually, than you were, but you had passed him up on the pit climb. Chanigan having a little bit better of a Sandman fight at his higher levels, and able to use the blood orb on the sand on the hourglass to kind of chase Hourglass around and not wait for him to get into range. But yeah, no, it was really close. You saw 12 seconds officially, the official time between you two. So that was just a heck of a race to watch. And like I said, the Timespinner players finish, and basically at the same time, the FF1 players just say, all right, well, let's go finish this thing. And
That was
just
super
very
close.
little separating the two teams here.
This must have been one of the closest raced.
Yeah, this is definitely really close. I can't wait to watch this back and see.
Yeah.
That last 15 minutes must have been something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, really good races. Again, Carry On My Wayward Sons goes to 3-0. Duck Soup goes to 2-1. As we stated earlier for chat, this is a Swiss pairings based off of your current record, and it is 2 and out. So 2-1 players will go up against 2-1 players. 3-0 players will go against 3-0 players. And so we will probably be seeing some really, really high quality competition here. Both of these teams, obviously, Carry On My Wayward Sons is still in it. Duck Soup, you have kind of a one more chance sort of situation here at 2-1. So best of luck to both of the teams. And I look forward to facing up against whoever's next in the tournament myself. And Luffy and Chanigan, we will see who your opponent will be shortly after a couple more of these races go out.
Yeah.
Is there another team that's 3-0?
I think that I could be wrong because brain tired, but I'm pretty sure that we get Team Hard Wrath, who had a bye this week. They were 2-0, and one of the 2-0 teams was going to get a bye, and whoever won this match between us and Duck Soup was going to play them next week. I think. Pretty
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know how that bye works out in the pairings, but there were 5 2-0 teams. And so, yeah, obviously the team that had a bye wouldn't have a bye again. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Okay, well, it'll be a surprise. I'm sure there will be some sort of wheel involved.
Dead Pulse will be spinning. It'll be magic.
Yep.
All right.
This was surprisingly nice for a Danny seed.
Yeah.
I even commentated during the end game. I'm like, this is such a Danny seed.
Yep. If you know, you know.
Yep.
No
vertical
maybe it went
movements.
over to the Timespinner side because I'm looking at 5550 and 5602 and cringing.
Yeah, I
but
said
let's
I
go to
wanted.
final thoughts. Papa Ducks and Waffle Soup. What are your thoughts going into your next match? Thoughts on this match? Thoughts in general? Favorite way to have your cheeseburgers?
I said I wanted more of a challenge. I didn't mean this. This was awful. Light wall only is terrible. I don't want to do that again.
Indeed. Papa Ducks, what about you?
Feeling too bad about going forward. I need to work on my menuing. I had a lot of menuing mistakes, but we played well. It was a rough seat on the Time Splitter side, and there were a lot of shards on the Time Splitter side. I still needed 11 when Waffle finished and got all of them. That was when I left Sky immediately.
11.
Wow.
That
11.
is
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shards.
Yeah.
I said 10 as a jokey overestimation on the commentary. I didn't know that you were actually going to get 11.
It might have been 10 because I think I found one in Sky.
Oh, yeah,
It
no,
might
I
have been
just
10.
earlier in the seed, I was like, well, the Timespinner seed's just going to finish and hand 10 shards to their Final Fantasy 1 counterparts, and they're going to go finish it. 10 was supposed to be a joke, but there you go.
So yeah, well, I think we'll be fine moving forward, and looking forward to the next round.
All right, Luffy and Chanigan, what are your thoughts at 3-0? Probably feeling pretty good, but what do you got in your minds going forward in this tournament?
Chanigan, you want to go first, bud?
Yeah, throw me under the bus, eh? No, for sure it feels good. Not gonna lie, I think Duck Soup was in my opinion, the hardest or the best team in this tournament. So being able to beat them, even if it's only a few minutes, it feels good. It feels good, and can't wait for the next round. And yeah, it's awesome.
All right, Luffy, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, this was really good. We were talking, and I thought that, Waffle's so good at this game, and I was talking to Chanigan, if we can get you within 5 minutes of him, I think we got a shot, and to be within 12 seconds, I'm like, all right, well then just, give me that chance, and Papa's really good. I mean, he's, 2 Duck Derbies ago, Duckling Supreme, I mean, he's no slouch, he knows what he's doing, so I knew I couldn't make many mistakes, and fortunately, it worked out this time, and shout outs to my teammates Chanigan and Shoon Bobby. They're been with me since last summer. Shoon Bobby and I and Chanigan joined us in Fall League, and we've been together since. And we're just going to keep trying to work together, keep trying to just do the best we can, and hopefully things keep going next week. But I'm gonna echo what Chanigan said. This feels real good. I like winning, so winning is nice. But yeah, they're a great team, and there's been some really great competition this tournament so far. So just keep moving forward and try to do the best we can next week.
All right, Shadow and DM Stewart, do either of you have any final thoughts?
This was a very, very close race. It was fun to watch. It was fun. I'm sure it was fun to race, although I'm sure it was also stressful to race. It was a heck of a lot of fun to watch, and seeing both games on the final boss at the same time. So seeing both Timespinner runners on the final boss at the same time, and both Final Fantasy Randomizer runners on the final boss at the same time was awesome. Shadow?
Absolutely wild. What about you, Shadow?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the runners for putting on an amazing race, considering how close it was. But I would also like to thank, obviously, the rest of the commentator booth for joining me, both with Jepster and DM Stewart, as well as DM for tracking this madness, as well as Math Girl for providing the restream.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody who's helping making all these restreams happen. All right, with that, I'd just like to say thanks to both the Timespinner and Final Fantasy Randomizer communities for putting this on. The Archipelago collaboration here it's the first big Archipelago team tournament. I really have been loving what I've seen so far. So thanks for Final Fantasy Randomizer for volunteering up your Twitch channel to do these restreams. Thanks, chat, for hanging out. Thanks to our runners for providing some entertainment tonight. Go take a walk, take a nap. I'm sure you deserve it. We will see where this tournament takes us in the future. This is going to be a real exciting finish to this tournament over the next probably week or week and a half or so. Lots of really good competition. Thanks, Math Girl, again for the restream. Thanks to you, Shadow, and DM Stewart for being in the commentary booth, especially DM Stewart doing the tracking as well. It's been a wild time over the last hour and a half, so thank you so much to everybody involved. Make sure you check out all of the runners here. Very entertaining, very quality runners that you should all drop follows on Twitch, support them and support their communities. Just a lot of really good people involved here. But having said that, I believe that is going to be it for us. Keep an eye out in the announcements for Archipelago to see any more restreams that we do for this tournament down the line. And everybody in chat, I hope to see you all next time. And until next time, have a wonderful evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.